Everyone has a story, and so does everything, antique, vintage, or curio.
I've seen only a very few of them, usually in top collections or in auctions. It's not common to find them online or things of that nature.
Like, we've had collections that have sold for, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Technological innovations, cultural significance, personal memories. What is it that gives each of these unique items their timeless quality?
Can't find these anywhere.
No.
Join us as we blow off the dust and breathe new life into the past and the curious. Today on The Past and the Curious, we look at a handmade string art piece that's been passed down through generations, a tabletop model of a classic steam engine, and a first edition copy of Western World magazine. Bruce flips through history with a first edition Volume 1 of Western World magazine.
This really is a time capsule of a period of time in Canada. You have the Canadian Pacific Railway, opens in 1881. 9 years later, this paper is published. Not a coincidence at all.
Case looks at a fully functional steam engine in a unique tabletop size.
Prior to that, for energy sources, it was animal power or wind power or water power. Now with steam, there was something that was consistent, and no matter what, you could just turn that valve on and be up and running.
Bridget meets Charlie the Roadrunner, a beautiful piece of vintage handmade DIY string wall art.
What we have here is a classic string art kit, DIY art for your living room that would have been really trendy at the time in the late 1960s, early 1970s.
My name is Mandy Doucette, and I brought in Charlie Roadrunner. So Charlie is very much a statement piece. He is bright orange, and I love that my grandmother made him. When I dug him out of the basement and cleaned off all the cobwebs, my dad asked me why in the world I wanted it, and I don't understand why you wouldn't want it as the centerpiece in your living room, because he's the coolest.
The Roadrunner string art, a 1970s collaboration between Cameron Enterprises and Busilla, reflects the era's vibrant creativity and the evolution of string art from an educational tool to a popular craft. Busilla, established in 1867, played a significant role in this transformation by introducing string art kits for home use. Originating in the 19th century as curve stitching, a method pioneered by Mary Everest Boole, string art was initially used to help students visualize geometric concepts in math. This technique unexpectedly bridged mathematics and art, allowing string art to emerge as a creative medium. This piece celebrates string art's enduring legacy, transforming mathematical concepts into vivid visual expressions. It invites artists to create a rich mosaic of color and texture, weaving lines into a tapestry that showcases the intricate relationship between math and art. Crafted in the early 1970s, it stands as a testament to the era's innovative spirit and the timeless appeal of combining art with education.
Hi, Mandy. Thanks so much for coming in today with this awesome work of art. What can you tell me about it?
So this piece was hanging in my grandmother's house for the longest time. When my grandmother died and my grandfather moved out of that house, we moved into the house. After a few years, I asked my dad where this giant orange piece of art was, and he said, "It's in the basement." And I said, "Can I have it, please?" And he said, "Sure." And so I took him and cleaned him, and look at him.
I love him.
So I know that his name is Charlie. He's string art. That was a kit that my grandmother had bought, which I didn't realize until I saved him from the basement.
What we have here is a classic string art kit, DIY art for your living room that would have been really trendy at the time in the late 1960s, early 1970s. I love that your grandmother made this. It makes it even more special. I was really excited to see Mandy's work of art today. Charlie Roadrunner is such a cutie, and he is definitely something that I would hang in my home. What really stood out to you about this piece?
Aside from the awesome orange felt, he's just a cool bird. I didn't realize he was a Roadrunner until I got him and saw in the back that his name is officially Charlie Roadrunner.
I would love to flip this around and kind of walk you through how your grandmother made it. If you look really closely here, you can actually see the numbers where you would have stitched 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and that's how the pattern would have come across. Your grandmother would have used a different color thread for different number patterns to put the art together, and it's called a stitcheroo, which I find so fun. This is truly in impeccable condition. Any string art or nail art from this time period is usually falling apart or would have some wear from sun damage. It looks like it could have been made last week. I love it.
Charlie has a level of quality that I just find you don't see in a lot of designs these days.
Now that he's been saved from the basement and cleaned up, do you have him on display in your home?
I do. He's front and center as soon as you walk into my living room. He's what you see on the wall. He takes up a whole wall by himself, so everybody sees him when they come into the house.
I love it.
I don't know a whole lot about string art. I see it around, but I don't know the history of it. Do you know?
I do. In the post-war era, people were spending a lot more time at home. Suburbs were popping up everywhere, and big art for the home was very popular. Kits like these would have been advertised inside the front cover of embroidery magazines or sewing magazines, and they were really targeted towards housewives.
That makes perfect sense too, because my grandmother was a knitter. Like, I know she knitted or crocheted, and she would have had those magazines in her home.
I feel like for certain people, maybe the act of sewing was a little too complicated. Anyone who could follow the numbers and hold the needle and put it through the holes could put together a work of art like this, and that's really impressive. This particular kit was created by the Busilla company, and they originated in the late 1800s, kind of shifted gears over the years, really focusing on high quality string and yarn for knitting and needlework. Around the 1950s, they started with these kits, and they were such a popular creation that they actually still even make them today.
I've tried looking up Charlie online, and I can't find anything about him. So how rare is the piece?
I would say that in his heyday, he would have been fairly popular, but nowadays you wouldn't find many like them, and it's especially rare that you would have one in such excellent condition from your grandmother, so that makes it even more special. Charlie here really would have set the standard for string art by Busilla up until around the 1970s, when they would have moved to those nail kits where you would kind of hammer in the nails along the numbers and then loop the string around. Busilla did end up coming out with a few other animal kits, but honestly, nothing compares to this guy.
One thing that surprised me today that I learned was that this type of string art happened before the nail art came in through the 70s. I didn't figure this would have been previous to that. I figured it would have come after that, so that was really interesting.
When you look at Charlie sitting on the wall in your living room, what does it make you think about?
Only when I saved him did I even know that my grandmother had made it. So now when I look at it, I only think of my grandmother.
I think it is so special that the art that hung above your grandmother's living room is now in yours.
I want more people to appreciate art from that sort of mid-century era. I think it's very cool. I think it stands out and it stands the test of time.
Tell me, what is your plan for Charlie moving forward?
He is gonna go back up on my wall. He'll probably stay there for the foreseeable future until maybe someone else in the family shows as much enthusiasm for him as I have.
Do you think you'd ever consider parting with Charlie?
I don't think so. He's a pretty big statement piece that fits in really well with my decor. So, I mean, if I saw him at a vintage market, I would pick him up immediately.
I would too, so that's why I asked.
Even though I don't want to sell him, I am super curious about how much he's worth.
Given the condition of this piece, the incredible colors, and the rarity of it, I would estimate that this piece could go for between $75 and $150.
Cool.
Knowing that, would you consider selling it?
No, he's too special.
If you're looking for art for your home, really look no further than your parents' basement. I love that Mandy rescued this, cleaned it up, and now it's such a figurehead in her living room. Thanks for coming on today, Mandy.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up on The Past and the Curious.
While we don't know exactly when the steam engine was from, it was probably from the late 1800s, just when steam would have been really gaining steam.
Yeah, my name is Stephen Porter, and I brought in an early tabletop steam engine. I like seeing things move. I like seeing wheels go, and I like seeing gears. To watch this thing move was like a mobile piece of art. I could hear the thing starting to come alive, and yeah, it was a nice sound.
Prior to the advent of widespread electrification, many of the world's major technological achievements, advancements, and instruments were driven by the steam engine. One of the earliest mentions of the use of steam to drive power comes from the Roman engineer Vitruvius around 25 BC. Named for the ruler of the winds, the ball of Aeolus, or the Aeolipile, is described as being part of a turbine over water. When the basin containing the water was heated, the spinning turbine would supply twisting power, or torque, via 2 steam jets. The earliest modern steam-powered machines came in the form of pumps in the 1600s. The steam engine underwent continuous innovations in the centuries that followed, with inventors and engineers such as James Watt, improving upon the design's efficiency, leading to its widespread use by the end of the 18th century. The steam engine powered transport and manufacturing in the Industrial Revolution, providing heartbeat and horsepower to locomotives, steamships, and factories.
Well, thanks for coming in today, Stephen. What did you bring us?
It's a tabletop steam engine, probably 1880s vintage.
It's a cast iron piece, beautiful green and red color scheme with some really wonderful brass and copper highlights. Stephen, do you have any idea where this particular one would have come from?
I bought it from a guy in Dartmouth after the SS Atlantic had sunk in Herring Cove. I used to go out there and go diving after some of the metals and stuff he could use off of it. It may have come off the SS Atlantic. Maybe he built it from scraps off the SS Atlantic, I don't know.
Electricity wasn't really used on ships at that time when the SS Atlantic went down. It was well into the 1900s when electricity became regularly used on vessels. A machine this size would have been used to possibly power a lathe for a watchmaker or a clockmaker. That's what these little tabletop engines would have been used for. With the lack of a maker's mark and not being able to come across any documentation or photos or anything of this specific one, we're not able to say where it actually came from. So do you know how this contraption works?
Yes, it was run by steam to begin with. To make it run, I just use compressed air. Your pressure goes in here, whether it's steam or compressed air, and there's a valve in here that would let that charge of steam push the piston inside back. And once it gets back, it closes this valve, opens another valve here, and the steam pushes the piston back the other way. Most of them just push one way. This is double acting. It pushes both ways.
Yeah.
This is on a crank pin, rotates the flywheel, and then you would have a pulley on here with a flat belt and to run whatever, you know, a sewing machine, a lathe, like you said.
Have you ever gotten this one running?
Oh, yes. I hooked it up to my air compressor. I got a fitting that goes on here, and with about 2.5 pounds of air, I can make it run pretty nicely.
Yeah, there's something quite mesmerizing about watching it run.
It is, yeah. How far back do steam engines go?
The concept has been around for a long time, basically a couple thousand years. The Greeks and Romans, they don't really know if they actually made them, but there is evidence and documentation of a basic steam engine. There wasn't a whole lot of activity with it up until the 1700s, when one fella, Savory was his name, he came up with a basic steam engine that was used for pumping water out of mines.
I see.
Now, James Watt, he's kind of the best known person for it.
Yes.
He really refined that process and made it efficient and good at what it does.
Yes.
It's because of a steam engine that we have the term horsepower. James Watt came up with a formula. 1 mechanical horsepower is the ability to lift 550 pounds up 1 foot in 1 second. After that, steam was used to power everything, basically. It was responsible for transportation, on the ocean, on land. All your mills, all your factories, all your processing was steam powered. And it still continues today with the use of steam generators for electrical plants. So what really stood out about this piece to you?
I had like model steam engines and stuff like that when I was a kid. And this is sort of an upgrade from there. I think, you know, I don't think it's a toy, but it's certainly not the big one that you would see in a sawmill.
Yeah. So what space does this occupy in your life?
I keep it in the garden shed, in a crate. And I open it up once in a while and look it over, you know, and admire it. I just find it very interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a neat piece.
It's so much like the real machines that powered our sawmills and stuff. Someone did a fine job, I believe, in creating it.
Yeah, it's a piece of artwork in my opinion.
It is, yeah, no, 100%.
So Stephen, I understand that a little steam engine like this could have been at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. They did have small steam engines on display, so maybe this is one of them.
I did some research online. There was a lad from this area who had brought a model steam engine there for display.
That seems half realistic, so it's something I would like to research more and hopefully someday find out. Without finding any documentation and the lack of a maker's mark, we really can't say for sure. It's kind of hard to overstate how important steam engines were for society. What are your plans going forward with it?
Well, what I'd like to do is set up a display and demonstrate how you can take steam power and turn it into mechanical power. And also maybe even add a small generator on it, so we can describe how you can turn that mechanical power into electrical power.
Yeah, turn on a light bulb, kind of an educational device.
Exactly.
Would you ever consider parting with this piece?
You know, it's a good question. I don't know. I have a lot of projects. I also restore other things, so you know, it depends on what day you hit me.
Looking at the value of a piece like this, it's kind of a hard one to do because we haven't totally solved the story. We don't know exactly where it came from, but based on the condition and the quality, I would have to put this one at a price of about probably about $1,500.
Wow. Yeah, interesting.
So does that mean you would consider selling it?
You know, probably not at this time. But like I said, you know, I rebuild antiques, and you know, money always comes in handy. So you never know, right?
I'll give you my card.
Yeah, one of the things that surprised me is the early history. That kind of jumped out at me.
As a person with many projects as well, I totally see where you're at. So whether this piece ends up financing future projects or you use it to share with others as an educational device, I think either way, it's a great piece of its story.
What I'd like for people to think about is being interested in steam.
The whole industrial revolution was built on steam, powered on steam, and it goes right up until today. Our power is being regularly produced by steam. Thanks for coming in today, Stephen.
Well, thanks for having me.
Coming up on The Past and the Curious.
This magazine's a real snapshot in time. It's 1890. It's when the country was starting to move from center and east to west. This magazine promotes that, encourages that, and it's kind of neat to see it up close.
My name is Don Rosignol, and I brought in a magazine called Western World. The reason I'm interested in it is the history in the magazine and the year and volume 1, number 1. I think what people should look at here is the history that's in it and the idea of being offered 500 acres to go west.
Western World Magazine, volume number 1, 1890, devoted to Western resources and development, provides a unique glimpse into the late 19th century development of Western Canada. Published by Acton Burroughs in Winnipeg, this magazine was a key informant during a time of significant transformation and expansion in the region. It produced 3 issues between 1890 and 1892 before evolving into Railway and Shipping World, which continued until 1905. The 1890s marked a pivotal period in Canadian history, especially following the completion of the Canadian Pacific Railway in 1885. This development opened the vast Western territories for settlement and economic growth. Western World Magazine covered essential topics such as agricultural development, resource extraction, railway expansion, and the challenges and opportunities of westward settlement. Serving as a crucial resource for settlers, entrepreneurs, and policymakers, the magazine's articles and editorials offered guidance and insight into the burgeoning development of Western Canada. Its pages chronicled the economic aspirations and developmental milestones of the era, capturing the spirit of a time critical in shaping Canada's national identity and territorial expansion.
Don, thank you for coming on the program. What have you brought in to show us here today?
I brought a magazine called Western World. It's volume 1, number 1 from 1890.
First one ever published.
First one ever made.
How did you find this?
It came from my mom when she was dying. She had a drawer full of papers, and nobody in the family wanted anything to do with them, so I took them all, and this was in it.
Any idea why she had it?
I have no idea.
What do you find interesting about this?
Well, I think it's the age, 1890, but what interests me more was volume 1, number 1. And when I opened it, The things like offering 500 free acres if you moved west, a lot of advertisement, and it's got a lot of family history, so I'd like to know more about it if you could help me out.
You know, I've been digging into this a bit, and Western World magazine was a publication, came out of Manitoba. And here's a remarkable little tidbit. If you wanted to subscribe to this for a full year, $2 a year.
Yeah.
Tom, why don't you flip through this and we'll take a look at what's inside Western World Magazine, Volume 1, Edition 1.
Here's some of the history.
Now, this was a magazine that promoted immigration to the West, right? Don, this is a little ration card here. What do you know about that?
I have no idea. It was in the magazine when I went through it, so I just left it in there.
Bunch of little treasures as you flip
Yeah.
through, aren't there? So you had the Canadian Pacific Railway, founded in 1881. People are moving west. There's the free farms for millions, 500 acres if you move west, and all of these advertisements, huh?
Yeah.
Any stick out to you?
There was one on there, I'm not sure what page it was on, bars of soap, and it sort of struck me. I can't remember too much about it now, how much they were, but they were dirt cheap.
Today we had an 1890 magazine, a magazine from 133 years ago called Western World Illustrated. It was Volume 1, Number 1. In very, very good shape. A couple of wears and tears, but overall for a 133-year-old magazine, pretty good stuff.
Is there any way you can tell me about the guy that created this magazine?
Well, I know his name was Charles Acton Burroughs. He was originally from England, moved to Canada. He was a journalist and later a politician as well. He was a provincial politician, then he was a national secretary for Sir John A. Macdonald. In his life, he was involved in 9 newspapers. He started 3 on his own. Very conservative guy, and also a huge believer, as Sir John A. Macdonald was, that for Canada to thrive, people had to come west, thus Western World Illustrated.
Oh, cool.
So if you happen to pick this up in 1890, you'd have a bit of an idea of what it would be like to live in Western Canada at that time. You have the railway in 1881, this magazine in 1890, and the whole focus is immigration westward. Who do you think this would have been for in 1890?
Well, I imagine it'd be for migrates, farmers, pretty much anybody that was looking for free land and a break in life.
Yeah, maybe young families that wanted to move and live in the West.
Yeah. So can you tell me whatever happened to Burroughs?
Lived till he was 92, died in 1948. A journalist, a backroom politician, but oddly enough, if you Google him, there's not a lot there for a guy who was pretty influential, especially in Western Canada. How is this displayed in your home?
I have a frame hanging on a wall with a lot of other family heirlooms.
Right up on a wall so you can see it all the time?
All the time.
Yeah, what do you think of when you look at it?
Well, I think of my mom, but mostly the paper itself, like the free land and what's in it, like if you're reading it, a lot of history.
Does this put you in the mind at all of the person who was moving from east to west in Canada back in 1890?
Yeah, it's always an idea that whether it was a farmer or the people that have immigrated to Canada, it was probably a big chance for a lot of people.
And they had a magazine to greet them.
Yeah.
Well, Don, thank you for bringing this in. What's your plan for this in the future?
I don't have any plans for it. It'll probably stay on my wall, maybe give it to my granddaughters when I pass on.
You know, if you were thinking about what this might be worth, the age of it, 133 years, the shape it's in, I think if you were in front of a good Manitoba crowd, maybe a descendant of Burroughs, you could probably get at least $500 and maybe $1,000 for this.
Well, I think for that price, it'll hang on the wall.
You're not selling.
No.
That's a good call.
Yeah, it's nice to know a little bit more about the magazine. It's always been an interest. Bruce answered all the questions that I had in my mind today.
You know, because this was your mom's and because you've had it for so long, I think your wall, your house is where it should hang.
Yeah, I think so.
So Don, thank you for coming on the program today and bringing this really neat piece of Canadian history.
Well, thank you for helping me out, find out more about it.
This is kind of the essence of the Past and Curious. You got a guy that's looking through his mother's old belongings and he comes upon an artifact that represents a point in time in this country's history. That's what it's all about.